The Southern Command Network plans to play a key part in Panama to the very end, and you can count on receiving the same top-quality service you've come to expect. But before we look at options on our future, we must first examine our past. Petty Officer Sonia Eckhart takes us back in time for a quick look at SCN's history.
The beginnings of this network began when the Coastal Artillery Command in Panama started broadcasting using a tactical frequency and low power. Even during this infant stage, the mission was clear: provide command information and entertainment to the military audience. By 1966, SCN had 40 soldiers, sailors, airmen, and civilians operating one 24-hour radio station and 60 hours of TV programming a week, to include news broadcasts in Spanish. It was 1989 when our wartime mission unfolded. The situation in Panama had been heating up for months. In a series of events just before Christmas, the United States entered an armed conflict with General Manuel Noriega's defense forces. SCN was on the air broadcasting CNN news 24 hours a day. We played a vital role by breaking in with local news updates to keep members of the Southern Command abreast of the unfolding actions. As a result of the network's commitment to its wartime mission, SCN received a Joint Meritorious Unit Award and became the first Armed Forces radio and television service network to earn a battle streamer. The most recent test of our ability to perform our mission during a critical period came in 1994. Service members and civilians deployed to Empire Range to set up camps, which would house nearly 10,000 Cuban migrants. When the camps turned violent, our cameras were there. With our mobile van and 3 strategically placed news teams, we were on the scene live as the action unfolded. Throughout the Christmas holidays and into the new year, we reported daily from the camps on the status of the detainees. Like any local radio and TV station found stateside, SCN prides itself on providing the best in entertainment and up-to-the-minute information for the safety and well-being of its viewers. Based on past history, the Southern Command Network has proved itself a vital part of the community, and the same holds true in its future. Petty Officer Sonia Eckhart, SCN News.
One key aspect in having a radio and television station in your community or command is the immediate availability for commanders to get their message out to their troops. But in order to get the word out and the message heard, viewers and listeners need to be tuned in.
Most importantly for me as Commanding General of U.S. Army South is the ability to reach everyone in the command immediately to provide information on quality of life and safety matters.
The word in Panama right now is TIP, Treaty Implementation Plan, the program to turn the canal and all the military installations over to the government of Panama by December of 1999. And as more service members start to leave the command, SCN's mission continues on. As we see in this report from Air Force Sergeant Kiera Jones, SCN's drawdown has begun, but the show must go on.
Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it.
For SCN, getting jiggy means getting out into the community. Whether it's television or radio remotes, the Southern Command Network becomes a part of local events by meeting its audience face-to-face. But it's also facing the ongoing drawdown as well. Over the past 2 years, this joint service operation has lost nearly half of its Army, Air Force, and Navy slots, with no replacements or reinforcements in sight. Today, SCN provides 24-hour on-air television, 3 cable channels, and 2 radio program services with the exact same manpower we had in 1966. Meanwhile, temporary duty in support of the U.S. Southern Command and U.S. Army South has increased in the theater. Most recently, SCN sent its news teams to Honduras, Guatemala, Puerto Rico, and Ecuador. As the SCN production department continues to keep the audience well informed, our engineers are actively engaged in maintaining and repairing on-air equipment. They also expand our services and upgrade technology. Within the past year, SCN added 3 AFRTS television channels to authorize viewers living off-post using a sophisticated encoder-decoder process on the downtown commercial cable system. We were the first Armed Forces network to implement and distribute multi-channel AFRTS digital satellite service on both the on-post wireless and the off-post commercial cable television systems. SCN Television transitioned from analog videotape to digital broadcast technology by installing the Avid AirPlay, Media Composer, and news cutters for on-air, post-production, and news operations. Meanwhile, our engineers are planning the packing, reutilization, and distribution of all our broadcast equipment before we have to vacate our building on 30 September 1999. In fact, that process has already begun. We recently removed our Odetics automated television tape handling system and sent it to the AFRTS Broadcast Center. With equipment literally coming out of the walls and our mission expanding throughout Latin America, SCN faces unique challenges. First and foremost, how to keep morale up for members in the unit. Though workload is one concern, an even more important issue is not knowing what's in store for the network.
There's a certain amount of frustration. Are we moving to Puerto Rico? Are we setting up a multilateral counter-drug center? Despite all this, the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and civilians here at the Southern Command Network continue to provide first-class service to all of the service members still remaining in Panama, and will continue to do so until the very last soldier, sailor, and airman leaves this country.
Though several options are still open as to SCN's future, one choice is definite. Our audience can count on us to be a part of their community, keeping everyone informed and entertained. Air Force Sergeant Kiara Jones, SCN News.
So just what options are there for SCN? Well, before we answer that question, whatever happens to the Southern Command Network headquarters, our affiliate SCN Honduras will remain. Army Sergeant Jay Johnson reports from there.
9 minutes after 7 o'clock on a way back Wednesday morning edition of the Power Lizard Morning Show. Army Sergeant Jay Johnson's in with you. Going to take you back a little ways with a golden oldie right here from the OJs. I love music. SCN Radio in Honduras is one of the biggest morale boosters available to service members stationed here. There are just under 500 troops assigned to support Joint Task Force Bravo. Sotocano Air Base is located in a remote rural valley, making the Power Lizard a primary source of information and entertainment.
It starts my work day, you know, and all throughout it just keeps me going.
They're awesome. It's really hard to measure just how valuable it is. It's a tremendous morale booster for the troops here at Sotocano and throughout the region.
In addition to our radio service, we broadcast the American Forces Network America's channel over the air and rebroadcast it on the base cable system. SCN Honduras has authorized 3 service members to run the station. The station manager is an E5, E6, or E7 sent here from our headquarters in Panama. The temporary duty tour for the station manager lasts from 3 to 6 months. The position for our junior broadcaster comes from the U.S. Army Forces Command, and our Air Force technician is provided by the Air Combat Command for a short tour of 1 year. No matter what happens to our headquarters in Panama, SCN will continue to maintain an important presence here in Honduras. In fact, the authorized strength of Joint Task Force Bravo could increase to as many as 800 or possibly as high as 1,200 service members. However, the number of service members stationed here is irrelevant. Our mission is to provide command information and entertainment to our audience, be it for 1,200 or the current 500. Army Sergeant Jay Johnson, SCN News, Honduras.
So let's take a look and see what options are open to SCN Panama. Now, based on the original plan, the Southern Command Network will discontinue its services here on December 31st, 1999. Beginning in July 1999, radio and television operations will be provided from remote mobile broadcast bands. Equipment such as you see here will have already been packed and shipped to other AFRTS or CONUS military broadcast facilities. With the impending move of U.S. Army south to Puerto Rico, an SCN presence there is certainly a good possibility. But moving to Puerto Rico presents some interesting options of its own. The first, a full network concept. Now, this will be similar to how we operate today. Under this plan, SCN would co-locate with the Navy at Roosevelt Roads to jointly provide radio and television services there, and also to Fort Buchanan. SCN would be the AFRTS geographic manager for the U.S. Southern Command. Now that means networking our services to military audiences in Puerto Rico, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, Sotocano Air Base, Honduras, and possibly at Howard Air Force Base in Panama at the Multinational Counter-Narcotics Center. Option 2 in Puerto Rico become a full-service radio and TV affiliate at Roosevelt Roads. Now again, co-located with the Navy, but this time our target audience would be limited to military installations only in Puerto Rico. Option 3 in Puerto Rico is to just establish a radio-only AFRTS station on Fort Buchanan. If SCN does not move to Puerto Rico, but the U.S. and Panamanian government decide to agree on an anti-drug center at Howard Air Force Base, then a full-service joint manned affiliate station could provide radio and TV services there. Depending on who has the larger percentage of service members at the center, the station could be owned and operated by either the Army or the Air Force. So as you can see, there are a number of variables involved in trying to unlock the future of SCN. But no matter what combination it takes, careful planning and preparation will ensure the Southern Command Network and the Army Broadcasting Service are positioned to turn the key in the right direction. That's our report. Thank you for joining us.